Welcome back to class, everybody, and I wanted to show you how to set this up where we have the columns for ones, tens, and hundreds. And so we have been using our own materials like the Hi-Chew candies and the Cheerios, and now we're going to use some commercially prepared materials. So these are Montessori golden beads, and so what you do here is you have a little holder for all your ones, and these are all countable. So you notice that when you start counting and you add these, so I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, once I get to 9, that's all that can go in there. So when I have another one, they only let you get to 9, so when I have another one, I can't fit it. So this is different from a 10 frame where you have 10 on purpose. Here you only have 9. I'm going to be trading that in for a 10. And so you see we have a 10 instead, so I'm going to trade these in for the 10. And now I have the number 10. Okay, so we have you, as you continue going, you will continue counting up ones, making a 10, and every time you count, you get a one that you can't fit on here, and you trade it in for a 10. So the idea is 10, 20, 30, so now you continue going up, and then when you have, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so now you have 90, and you can't have 10 tens. So you need to, once you get that next one, and we want to show kids how important this is, when you get that next 10 and you don't have 9 tens anymore, you have 10 tens, then you have to get all of these and trade them in for a 100. So when I trade it in for 100, there are several ways I can do it. I can get these long strings that have 100 that are 10 tens, and I can trade these in. So now I have 100 here. I traded that in. I'm not using those anymore. Or I can use a flat 100. There are 2 different kinds. So let's say I wanted to use the flat 100. I can just trade these because 10 tens is the same as 10 tens. And then here now I have 100. So we want the kids to practice writing this number. So you would have a 1, 0, 0. So it's important to have these empty to show that we have 1, 0, 0 and not just 1. Because if we just had 1, it would be over here. But if we have a 0 here, then we have 10. And if we have 2 zeros here, we have 100. So then we can continue counting the hundreds. So now we have 100. Now we have 200. Now we have 300. And count by hundreds: 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. Oh, now what do we do? When we have 900, we can't put another one, because if we did, we would go to the next highest number. So when we have 10, it's not going to be able to be here because we don't have 9. Now we have 10 hundreds, and then we have 1,000. So we could make another column for the 1,000, but I want you to just understand that 10 hundreds is 1,000 and what that looks like. So when we're doing this, always have a trading mat that has all of the columns there for you. So another thing I wanted to show you about Montessori is you have these other ones, and these are all part of the ones family. So I'll just bring these down into the ones. So the idea with this, okay, you have 1, and then if you call out the number, let's say you want 4. Okay, which one is the 4? So I'm going to pick the one that's 4 and bring it down. And you can make this with pipe cleaners and beads. But notice, let's say I'm calling a 6. So if I call a 6, you notice how it has the 5 the 5 black beads and the 1 white. What they're trying to have kids do is to see groups of 5, and then the 1 extra, that's 6. And this is a little counter thing that you can use to have them count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you would call out a number, they should be able to pick out which one that is and put all these in order. So you see how it goes up to 9, where we have 5 black and 4 white, and you can make these too for yourself. Okay, so next I'm going to show you some of the other materials out. These are great because we would probably use these on a separate occasion, but we want to stay consistent with the same item, with the 1s, the 10s, and then the 100s, whichever form you use. But if let's say we finished with Montessori and we want to use a different kind of representation, this is the final way that you would do this, is you would have the base 10 blocks. These are base 10 blocks. So you have the 1s here. Instead of using the Montessori, you would do these as 1s. And then you have the 10s here. You can see that there are blocks within there, and those are 10s. And then you can see here we have the 100s. So this is what kids will use as they develop and continue with place value. These are the standard models for place value: 1s, 10s, and 100s. So if we wanted to represent a number, let's say we wanted to represent 35. Let me do 30. And then we do 5 of these. Okay, 35. Now, we have to represent 35, and let's say we wanted to add to that. If we're adding a 2-digit number, then that other number, we would write 35, that we want to add. Let's say we wanted to add 17. So adding 10 and 7 1s. Okay, so let's say we're adding 35 plus 17. If we were doing that, we would see, okay, we want to add the 1s first, and this is the way they learn the standard algorithm, is we have our 5 plus our 7. Okay, we have too many. So what we're going to do with these is we're going to make a 10. We have 5 there. We have 5 there. So we haven't made a 10. By the way, it would be better if they were all the same color. But this is what I have. Now I have a 10. I can't keep that in my 1s column. So I need to get out a 10 here. And now I can trade this in. And I can see close up that it's the same. So now I'm trading in all of these 1s. Back in here. For this 10, but it can't go here. So I have to move it over here. So what I just did was I added those two numbers, and now I put all my 10s together, and then I have 52. Now, let's say we were going to subtract. Let's clear our board here. If we're going to subtract, let's say we have 250. 250. Let's say I wanted to subtract 12 from 250. What would I have to do? If I wanted to get 12 out of there. Well, I could take 110 away, but I would also need to take away 2 1s. So what I would want to do then is I want to trade this in for my 10s, for my 1s. So I would get 10 1s. Just like I did before, we're going to do this lots of times so that kids see what's happening. So now I had 250, but I had 4 10s here, and I took away 110 so that I could trade it in for these 1s. So now I have to take away 12. In order to take away 12, I break up 12 into 110 and 2 1s. So then I could take away 110 and 2 1s. Now I've taken away 12 from 250, and I have 238. And then the kids would also write that too. So that's probably on the higher end of what they'll be doing. But this trading mat for all of the activities will help them know where they are in place value and identify these symbols for the numbers. So I'm introducing this to you last because it's better to use actual objects. And so here you have the trading mat. You can trade up, you can change things in for 1s, trade for 10s, you can trade in your 100s for 10s, or trade your 10s for 100s. And all of those kinds of trades are what the kids will really need to help them understand how our number system works. Okay, that's all for this activity. I'll bring you another activity next.